All right, good evening. I certainly hope and pray that all is well. I hope you all had a wonderful day and things are going well for you. Enjoying the weather wherever you may be. It's hot here, but not like summer hot. Feels like, fall hot, but still nice and warm and toasty. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, I don't want to say, but I want to say this could be um, talk that I'm going to have tonight could be a trigger warning, but I really don't particularly care for that too much because I've talked about this before. Things that people had no issue saying not that long ago has become a huge issue. And people can't say words. They can't say the words for what they are. We've made up new. I ain't gonna say we because I haven't. Folks have made up new words, but to mean what the original word means. Unalive, kill, for example. Okay, so you understand. Instead of saying rape, grape, things like that. So for those who, I'm not quite sure what what the trigger is. Um, Understand what I'm saying? I feel like, well, my channel is for 18 and over. Okay, and my God, if folks ain't triggered by all the crazy shit going on in the world today, then you know. I mean, it's all kind of crazy ass shit right here on YouTube, on Netflix, and all the streaming apps, the movies, everything. Walk out your fucking door. There's a whole lot to be triggered by. So if people saying words, it's gonna trigger you, then I don't understand how this shit out here ain't triggering. Okay, so I had I get these monitoring spirits and shit, gnats. Sometimes, you might be because of fruit flies and whatnot, but I had them in my clothes closet. Ain't nothing, no fruit, no food, nothing sweet in there. I guess people want to know what I'm wearing. What clothes do the bitch have in her closet? I just wondered. I asked somebody one day. I said, I wonder, like, when someone sends a monitoring spirit, like in the form of a bug, and you kill that motherfucker, I mean, do y'all that send it, because y'all watching, do you feel it? I just don't know how it works. I mean, like, how does that even work? And I'm not going to look it up because I don't care what you got going on in your life. I just wonder. Like, one day I was sitting here in silence about 5 minutes. Then all of a sudden I heard zzz. I look up and I look over. As soon as I look over, dead silence. I turn my head back, look down, it start buzzing again. I look up, it's a big old fucking wasp. What y'all say that got his fucking issue? Pow! Because all my windows are closed, sealed tight. Okay. But at the same time, I look up, like, what are the spiritual meanings of this? I ain't looked up no spiritual meaning of no goddamn gnats. What is the spiritual meaning of this bug or that bug or that bug? So I'll take it like that. But one day I'm sitting in here, and here comes a moth just out of the blue in the evening. Just there it is. Now, this lady who raised me, that's what she would send. When I meant to talk about that, I don't know if it was the last video I did or one of the videos I did. But when I first got away from her, okay, not wasps, moths. I think that's what they are. I'm like, look at this shit. I ain't never had this shit before. Ever. Moved to another house, there they are. Pow, 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 killing them all. And I sent her an email. Stop sending them shits. Stop sending them moths. Send it right to her. Of course, she didn't right away, but over time she did. Well, lately, they have returned. I'm like, here she go again. And it's so funny because sometimes I'll just be sitting here and there's nothing in the room, nothing in the air, and then it just appears. Nope, windows closed, just appears, just out of nowhere. So the last one she sent, what was it, a few days back? I killed it. Of course, I got up and that's into that. So then here comes the black magic afterwards. The dreams and all of that kind of stuff. Now, before I get to that, oh, well, let me just tell you one dream. One of the dreams, I guess I was supposed to, they were doing some kind of work. I guess I was supposed to uh, forget things, maybe my memory, because in the dream, it was my daughter, me, and her. She was somewhere in there, and I parked my car somewhere. And when I went out, at the store or whatever, when I went to go for my car, I could not remember. This was in the dream where I parked it. So I went to her, not my daughter, to her to ask, trying to, and I kept doing this like I can't, I just could not bring it to my remembrance where I parked this car. And I'm asking her, well, this is what she wants. No, I won't be asking you for anything. I won't be coming to you for anything. Okay. This is what one thing is. I found this wonderful channel on here. This guy talks about gang stalking, and I just love the way he breaks it down, and all of the black men. I just love the way he breaks all this shit down. But anyway, and it's like this is something that these people who do this to you and their black magic and all the blah 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 blah. What they want, they don't want to let you go free. They just have to do whatever the fuck they're doing for whatever their purpose is. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of mesh two talks together because I was supposed to do this a couple days ago, but I didn't. When I was in college, my junior year, I lived in Sutton Plaza. For any of you Howardites out there who might be watching, okay, who remember? Sutton Plaza's been, well, I don't know what it is now, but they've been closed, a dorm. Yeah, Eaton, all female dorm. You had the alley, where all kind of things were going on in that motherfucking alley. There was a lot of prostitutes around, in the area. DC's not quite what it was back then. Now, like it gentrified it and whatnot. And then down the alley was Sutton. Sutton was co-ed, and I lived in Sutton. I lived in Eaton my first 2 years. Then my third year, I lived in Sutton. Were the girls the first few floors or the guys? I can't remember. But they had to separate. Like I think girls were. I can't fucking remember. I think the girls had the top floors and the guys had the bottom floors. But anyway, so me and my roommate, who played her role in this as well, from Jersey, Muslim. I did a reading about it when I was doing those blackout readings where all you could see was my hands. I guess this woman who raised me promised her a career as a nurse because she became a nurse, which was so foreign. Like, a nurse? Really? Okay. Well, congratulations. And I went to the homecoming one year. She stayed in the area, Maryland, so I stayed with her. And this is when they was acting real, this woman's family, her niece and nephew were acting really weird with me with the black magic, blah, blah, blah. So I was telling her about it, and she yelled at me and said, I don't want to hear nothing about nobody's family. Excuse me, bitch. Okay. But I think maybe like an hour later, she started complaining about hers. And I was like, that was really strange. That was really strange. And let me say this, some old fucking weirdo. I had a picture of me and her in the car. And that's when I look at the fucking act. When I had Facebook, this old weird bitch. Well, asked me, was that my daughter? Bitch, I don't know why you thought that was funny. Because I sure could talk about your daughter's looks. My daughter probably had to been about 10 years old. Bitch, you know that grown woman ain't my fucking daughter. I said, oh, this bitch thinks she's funny. You know how they do. They like to try to front on you on social media. But I was too nice to talk about her daughter and what she looked like. Bitch, you know who the fuck you are. Because I'm sure the videos are getting passed around to your motherfucking one of them church bitches. Now she didn't go to my church, but she was part of the jurisdiction. She was the bishop's granddaughter. Bitch, don't play no games with me, bitch. I think I might have said something halfway smart too, but not what I really could have said. But anyway, but back to, and I thought that was really strange for her to yell at me, and then an hour later started complaining about her family and whatnot. Oh, okay. Well, then when I saw that she was playing a role in this too, I said, this woman who raised me, it was just this energy of really nasty, controlling spirit. I couldn't stand it. The woman would do stuff behind my back, and sometimes I would find out, probably extremely rarely. Like, what the fuck are you talking to my friends for in college? But anyway, so I said, oh, I guess she got a hold of her, because she played her part in it too. But after I made that video, I haven't seen any of her energy around. But anyway, nevertheless, me and her were roommates, and we used to have like card games and shit. I was always trying to throw some kind of party up in there. Like for her birthday, I gave her a party, and but we would people would just come to our room. So one night it was me, her, the roommate who got involved, another girl from New Orleans, a girl, Erica. I can't remember if Erica was from North Carolina or South Carolina. I think she was from South Carolina. She was so fucking funny to me, right? I think my girl Andrea might have been in there too. She was from Rhode Island. So we were playing cards. So Erica's complaining about her boyfriend back home. And I was half listening to her, but I was listening to her, right? And she was complaining about his mother, okay? But she was telling us what she would say to him. It wasn't like she was just complaining to us. She was telling us the things that she would say to him, her complaints that she had about her boyfriend's mother. And she was so funny, and she had this accent, right? And her accent wasn't like a Southern accent, okay? And she said that she said to her boyfriend, your mother act like she wanna fuck you. Okay? Well, me being me, I fell out laughing. I would laugh at the most inappropriate shit sometimes. I mean, my ears perked up when she said that shit, and I just was cracking the fuck up. Everybody else was looking at her. Oh, no. One girl, the girl from New Orleans, she said, them is fighting words. Everybody was like, no, I can't believe you said that shit. And she was like, what? His mama act like she wanna fuck him. And I was cracking the fuck up. I was like, you said that to him? She was like, yeah, I said that shit to him. Right? I had never heard no shit like that before. Okay, the life that I had never heard nobody say no shit like that, right? But I thought the shit was fucking hilarious, okay? Well, I didn't realize the seriousness of her statement, okay? Well, she wasn't trying to be, she was serious in that, your mama need to back the fuck off. This is me, your relationship, all right? But this is what I'm getting to. Now, trigger warning. These people, like what I had to deal with. Hold on. Yes. You can't see, but
Where you
uh huh.
are.
Okay. Did you need some?
No.
Okay. Um, what some of these people will do. There is a lot of, and you all know this. This ain't not, okay. You ain't never heard of before. There is a lot of inappropriate. I'll just put it like that for the trivia. Relationships that these adults, and I don't even want to call it a relationship because it's not even a relationship. Oh, I mean, it becomes that, but that these adults, that a lot, some adults are doing inappropriate things to children. Okay, we know that. I remember the first time I had even heard of anything like that. This was during the early days of talk shows. Now, back in the day, you had Donahue, Phil Donahue, the Donahue Show, was big talk show. He had everybody on there. He had everybody. Al Sharpton. I mean, he had the KKK. I mean, he had everybody, everything, every kind of type of thing up on that show. Really good show back in the day. He was from Cleveland, actually. And then Oprah was the next big talk show. And this was like in the 80s, maybe late 80s, when they would begin to talk about these things on talk shows. And I remember the first time seeing it, I was a teenager. Uh, I don't remember like exactly what age I was. I remember I know I was a teenager, maybe preteen, but I think a teenager. And it was so foreign to me, and I was like, I thought it was something that was few people had done and that few people had experienced. Hadn't experienced anything like that. I do remember one time when I was very young. I showed a picture the other day of me with my uncle and two cousins, my grandmother's nephews. We were down south in Alabama. I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. I remember I was taking a nap. Now, there was a male relative who scared the shit out of me, okay? And I was taking a nap, and I remember opening my eyes, and I saw him coming in the room, and, and he was standing over me. But I remember kind of, had one eye open, trying to pretend like I was still asleep. But I remember my whole body just like scared as fuck, okay? And then I remember just like in my heart hoping and praying somebody would come, come in here, come in here, come in here. And my grandmother's mother came in there and she told me to get on up out of there. Then this lady who raised me had a nephew his mother, okay, we would be at her house a lot because later as she would be at work, so we would be over there overnight, a lot. She had a nephew who I used to run from. Never touched me, but I knew he would. The intuition kicked in, even at that younger age, and I would run. Just his fucking presence, had that presence. Okay. But besides that, so I'm watching these talk shows, like, why would somebody do that? Why would a parent, do that to their own child? It was just so foreign to me. And again, I thought it was few people, not a lot. And usually they will only talk about girls being, mishandled, molested and stuff, all right? Boys, very rarely did you hear those kinds of stories, okay? Unless it was maybe a man mishandling, I'll put it that way. A grown man talking about how a man did, mishandled him when he was a child. Okay. So, I'm putting two things together here. So what some of these people will do with this gang stalking, this black magic witchcraft on these families, these chosen ones, and blah blah blah, and all that kind of thing, they will I'm listening to a reader the other day. She does reading, but she does talks too. And she was saying that people, they do this for this elevation in their little clubs, groups, secret societies, whatnot. They can get their records and shine their shoes. I watched They Live the other night. I saw it before, but I wanted to watch it again. Okay. But anyway, so they can get their records and shine they get their big houses and their big cars and have their big status and be somebody in society. Just fuck their child all the way up. Just fuck them up. So they can have things and power and status. And steadily talk about their child that they ain't shit. And they just don't know why they ain't shit. But they ain't. But sometimes, what people will do, they may not do it physically. I've mentioned this before. I heard another person on here, this was a reader actually, talk about it. And I love the way that she put it. They will molest you, not physically. They won't physically touch you. But they will do it like energetically, is how she described it. That's what they'll do. So they're still molesting you. You may be a child, or you may have been a child, and you had sexual thoughts, feelings, so on and so forth. And no, you may not have ever been touched by an adult. But you just have this sexual stuff in you, and you're fucking 5. Or you have these sexual thoughts, and you're fucking 5 and 6. Or you'll have, just gonna be real, you'll have these thoughts of sexual interaction with people that you maybe shouldn't be having these thoughts about. And you're a kid, and you're thinking something is wrong with you, and why am I thinking like that? And here it is, a crazy bitch is messing with you and your body, it's spiritually, but the physical. I hope you can understand. To fuck with you and fuck you up so they can get their shit, or simply because they hate your fucking ass for whatever reason. And then you may even find yourself, you may have found yourself engaging sexually, maybe at an early age, or whatever. It's just sexual things. At an early age. 5, 6, 8. When you know, especially when I grew up, 70s and 80s, we out there, we still, these kids nowadays. Shit, I was talking to somebody today. He worked for one of the school districts. He's a coach. And he was talking about some of the young women that he deal with, young girls that he deal with. Let me say that because they ain't women yet. I know they look like it and act like it. And I'm like, hell, when I was, in the 7th grade, we were still, we sometimes some of us were still playing with our Barbie dolls. But this was back then. It's a different time. I understand. So it ain't no social media thing. Because there wasn't none back then. Sick, perverted people in your fucking life. Sometimes what these people will do, when they do this dream infiltration on you, for whatever reason, getting your dream scared, or however, whatever we'll call it. However they do it, I don't know, they set up some kind of scenario, however it's done. And they're going and vamp the fuckos. If it's your fucking ass. But you need to be here. Face your fucking self. And your dirt. Your rotten asses. But what they'll do, they will, whatever the sexual energy is, they'll throw it off on you. Like this bitch who you can get it. I don't want your nasty fuck stink ass. She would dream of a dream. I mean, the bitch did it so much it was fucking ridiculous. And throw this sexual energy off on me for me to touch her. I never did, thank God. I guess just a person saying no, it's not good enough for you. You're a fucking rapist. That's what you are. Nah, I didn't touch you. I didn't fuck that. That's what the fuck you are. I watched this documentary years ago. I was young. I used to like stuff like that, documentaries and shit like that. And this was a time when folks were so sensitive, like as they are now. Okay, so they could, show what's true and real on TV. So they were interviewing men who were rapists, who were in prison. And one man got on there and he said it ain't got nothing to do with sex. He just told it ain't got nothing to do with that. He said it. If you say no, this is what he said. If you say no, it might as well be yes. That's what the fuck you are. Somebody who sleep, don't want to be bothered with your motherfucking ass. They want to rest. But you have to take something from that person who don't want to give it to you. So you're going to set shit up like that. You sick, perverted bitch. That's what the fuck you are. You're a rapist. Deal with it. Now, so this dream I had after I see the moth. Was such as that. Something along those lines. So what you do, whoever that little Hispanic bitch was, bitch, I hope your motherfucking ass is watching. What is that? Was that your new practitioner you got? Now, bitch, if your motherfucking ass is watching what you was trying to set up for me in that fucking dream, that's going to be your reality. That's going to be your fucking reality. And you will not escape it. Simply because, bitch, karma. What the fuck? What you put out there is what you're going to get back. But it's going to be real for your motherfucking ass. Violating people. You can get what the fuck you want. When they don't want to be bothered with your ass. Now, the girl I was watching who does the tarot and does talks, really good. She's got a very, very small channel. And I will not share her channel for her protection. Because some of you motherfuckers is crazy as hell. She was saying that these people, again, will do this siphoning from you, okay, sexually. So, they can up their status and their ranks and all of this kind of thing. Now, the only thing that I can think of with this woman who raised me, Your motherfucking ass must be in some kind of secret group, cult, obviously. Coven. And maybe you're trying to rise up to the ranks. Or you just don't like my motherfucking ass. I don't know. You think you still have it in your twisted mind that you're going to control me in some way, shape, or form, which you never will. I told y'all when I did the one live on Crazy Ass Bree, it's a while ago. I guess the word would be avatar. That when you come here, let me see. Hold on. A manifestation of a deity or released soul in bodily form on earth, an incarnate divine teacher, an icon or figure represent. I don't know if that would be the word. Okay, but the person that I'm not talking about the true person, the true you. No, the one that did rulers, principalities, powers, whatever, have designed it in such a way for the true person, the true you, to be suppressed and you to become something else that you're not. Completely out of alignment, completely disempowered. That person that I was, which is not my true being, that person does not exist. And Miss Ma'am, you did everything in your power. Wicked, you're a wicked woman, to destroy my true being. And you still trying. And I don't even know where you at. Don't want to. Okay. Anyway. My true self, my true being, me. I don't have no ties to you. None. Not this life, the last life, the life before that. The future one. No, because I've awakened to my truth. It's just interesting sometimes when I look back over those years and who I was and what was done to me and me feeling within myself and my soul and my spirit and my heart, my mind, this is not my life. When I used to say that to myself, I used to think it was like the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? But no. Now I understand. No. This is not me. This is not my life. I'm not supposed to be here. I remember a little girl saying, I'm not supposed to be here. Now, I thought, and it could have, that it meant that something in me knew that this woman is not my birth mother. This family of hers is not, I don't know these people, is not my family. That could have been part of it. The reality is, it's not my life. Okay? Not the job and the career, not the bullshit that folks be thinking about. In the house, in the city, not that. And it made me think about whatever the group, the coven, the church, women's, whatever. How many other children did y'all do this kind of thing to? How many? If it's the church folk, how many of y'all fuck with them kids, the children's minds, their heart and their soul, their spirit, their being? Because you did. And I say that because, like I said, a few nights back, I had a dream once again. And then the one girl I called out from the church, and her sister and my sibling was in it. And what was being done to me in the dream was being done to those girls and my sibling. And I realized right then, I said, this is not dream infiltration. These girls were victims as well. Talk to your mama or whosoever. So it's like, how many? How many? And you come in church and they're praising the Lord and all your bullshit. You know, I really like gospel music. I grew up in church and I really love gospel music. Every now and then I'll click on one of them shorts of them, somebody just singing her heart out. Beautiful voice, singing some gospel song. And sometimes I can't even, I was trying to look at one the other day of some older woman. I said, yeah, I don't know that woman. I'm not saying she is. I said, but this is one of them that could very much be part of the fuck shit. The black magic, the witchery, the covens, and all of that type of shit. Singing her heart out to Jesus. I love the Lord, and all of that type of thing. For what? Stuff. A supposed status. I can get you in there too. You be a nurse. You don't have to really take them classes for real. I got the inside thing. Just go to class. And you'll get the grades and pass and get your fucking degree and go be a nurse and damn near kill somebody. I guess that's what you were supposed to do with Bree, because the bitch kept sending me all this shit about Tri-C and nursing when she was here. Bitch, I don't give a fuck, bitch. I made it clear to the woman who raised me, I ain't gonna be no motherfucking nurse. You want me to be a nurse? I don't want to be no motherfucking nurse, goddamn. I tried a class or two. Hell no. I love it when it goes to zero. Love it. You need to watch. It's telling. The next that I had a dream. I don't know if they're connected to some boys. Young guy. Not a kid, but younger than me. I'm 53. Trying to kiss me and all. Trying to do things for him to be sweet to me and kiss me. And I woke up. I said, I wonder, was that a continuation? You're a pervert. You're sick. But this is the thing. You do this sex, I don't know, would that be sex magic? Sex ritual, sex magic? I don't know. But you do it in such a way that the child could never say that you touched them. Because physically you didn't. And like I said the other night, the child has no defense. Because it's a child. But yet the child's having these thoughts and these things happening to them, and they don't know why. And a child may not even ask why. But as they get older, they ask, why am I thinking, what is this? Why am I thinking like that? No, go away, go away, go away. I don't want that thought. Something's wrong with me. No, nothing's wrong with you. Somebody in the background fucking with you. Doing their sex magic to siphon your fucking ass. Or because they have some kind of issues of their own fucking life that they have not dealt with. Because this woman that raised me was all the time on that shit. Oh, y'all got issues. You do too. Comfort fucking nation. Thing about it is, it's a lot of this. I remember there would be times. See, you don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody. But you're going to leave me the fuck alone. And I'm going to tell it. I'm going to speak the truth. Because, see, some people don't know. I don't give a fuck what contract you signed. To what devil, demon, white master, or whosoever else. That's your issue and your problem. And what you chose to do. What come, group, secret society, all of that shit. I ain't in none of them. Not one. Miss Ma'am, BreaunaJewellBellamy. He's an Eastern Star. Shut the fuck up, bitch. You're the Eastern Star. Which I don't know why anybody would accept you. To a motherfucking thing. And I'm not saying that, I don't know anything about that group and none of the rest of them. Every single person needs to do these things. Because I don't believe that. Not every single one. I mean every single person. Okay, anyway. What happens to a person when these things are done to them? Now let's just speak energetically so. But the projections, you projected this energy on to another human being. Yes, adults will do to adults, but say with me here, to a child. And if they never come into the knowledge of what is happening to them, or what happened to them and why, I'm talking about energetically, not physically at this point. You're doing these things, this is abuse. You do these abusive things to dismantle and destroy that person. And, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Because of whatever your fucking reasons and issues and crazy is. You hate them, you're jealous of them, you're envious of them. You got to have control of them, got to have your foot on their neck, want them to feel like they ain't nothing and nobody, and blah, blah, blah. Everything that you feel about yourself instead of going somewhere and getting some fucking help and dealing with your fucking self. One. If it's for some damn group and status, I mean, my God, and you agree to that? You can buy your records and, like Elvis said, buy your records and shine your shoes. And houses and stuff. Okay. What profit a man to gain the whole world, lose his own soul? Because you definitely lost your motherfucking soul doing some shit like that. You're a child molester. You're an abuser. That's what you are. A destroyer. An unaliver. How's that? A killer. That's you all of that. And then this young person here has to grow up with shame. That somebody projected onto, and they didn't even know that that's what that. I mean, like some days I'll be sitting there like, man, I miss the 80s, goddamn, and the 90s, goddamn. What the fuck done happened to this motherfucking world we live in? But at the same time, it's a good motherfucking thing. The veil has been lifted. Being lifted has been lifted. This social media shit, it's got a lot of cons, but goddamn, it's got some serious pros. Thank God. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's coming to the knowledge thereof. Thank God. So that you get the knowledge here, the understanding. What was a riddle before no longer is. And now you understand what that meant, or that verse, or that what that person was saying, or whatever the fuck. So that now you can walk really in your truth and leave all that shit fucking behind. I was listening to a video. The man said Jesus said he came to destroy. Goddamn, that's what he said he came. And basically, yeah, to put mother against a child, and daughter and father against son, and blah blah blah. Good. And what I mean by that is for people who are doing that type of thing to their children. Walk the fuck away and find your healing. And then you wake up to the reality. This motherfucker was molesting me energetically in the spirit realm, projecting this bullshit off on me. I mean, if you want to cry, cry. Whatever. Anyway. I had a motherfucker one time that I don't know from fucking apps. I'm off this YouTube shit. Do that shit. Come in my dream. Try that shit. I don't remember the specifics of what happened. Okay. Yeah. He was trying to overtake me. And either I woke up or something came and pulled him off. I wake up, I'm like, okay, look at this shit. Who is this motherfucker? Come to find out, the more I worked the situation, trying to get an understanding of what was going on, this motherfucker, and you need to join the motherfucking memberships, had issue with his sexuality. Because of what happened to him in his life. Well, honey, trying to overtake some woman ain't gonna give you the fucking answer about your sexuality. or you need to do some work, self-healing. That's what the fuck you need to do. I sure expected you to join the motherfucking memberships. But a self-loathing. So you can come to self-loving. That's what that is. Those motherfuckers who love themselves don't need to do that. You got issues with your sexuality, you gonna try to push that off on me or the next woman or some other one. Fucking nuts. Yeah, you are. Let's get uncrazy. How's that? So anyway, back to what my friend said in college. You know, they talk about these things that have happened to girls. And I was talking to someone else about it today, and she said they got a TikTok talk. You see a lot of people talk about it on TikTok. Well, I don't have TikTok. But good. Because this thing happens to boys at an alarming rate. But since this society don't want men to deal with themselves and their feelings, and they have to pretend to be macho man and all of that kind of shit. Then they go around acting a goddamn fool like this motherfucker Philippe that I gotta deal with, who's been bothering the fuck out of me because of his childhood wounding and issues that the motherfucker refuses to deal with. And I'm not talking about men hurting these boys, which they do. I'm talking about you women. Trigger motherfucking warnings again. So, when I was with the Hebrews, and I studied with the Hebrews, I went to Israel. I stayed with a family. This young man, a little bit older than me, he had 2 wives. They were from, him and his first wife were from Atlanta. Well, I think he was really from Chicago, and he had moved to Atlanta. So him and his first wife were from Atlanta, and his second wife, because they did that. I'm not quite sure I can't remember where she was from. But anyway, he was so cool. He was so funny. And I stayed with him and his family. And he would just talk, tell all this business, talk your ear off. So one night, me, him, and his wife, we just up talking all night. And he didn't grow up in the Hebrew community. You know, he didn't join until he was a man, you know. And he was telling me how he grew up. He was like, baby, the pimps raised me. You know, he was a street dude. He was the pimps. That's who raised me, you know. And he was telling me how he was molested twice by women. One babysitter one time when he was one age, I can't remember. And then a few years later by another babysitter. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And then you wonder why men hate women. He said that the pimps was trying to train him how to be a pimp, but he said, but I couldn't be no pimp. I said, well, why? He said, because I love my mother too much. And he said, the pimps that he knew, that, you know, like I said, he said they raised him on the street. They had those issues. Being touched and molested and all that shit by some damn woman who's supposed to be protecting them, nurturing them, loving them, caring for them. Now, some of these women have these issues. And, you know, people talking about breaking these generational curses and shit. And these strongholds that be in families and all of that type of shit. Well, this dream infiltration I had years ago when I didn't know that's what that was. I walk in a room, there's a mother. There's a bed there and a mother laying on the bed. About her fucking son. Who I should have didn't drop the motherfucking case on his motherfucking ass. Maybe he would have left me the fuck alone. And I remember, and she tried to tell me, we ain't gonna have that. That's what she said. We ain't gonna have that problem no more, are we? And I looked at her and said, no, ma'am. But I do remember thinking, why is this bitch on the fucking bed? What does this mean? Now, I ain't accusing this woman of touching her children. But why the fuck are you on a fucking bed, bitch? Y'all did that. Y'all set up the scene. And pulled me in it. And your shit. Go family therapy, bitch. That's what you need. Get your own first. Cause why are you on a fucking bed? Trying to point your finger at me about your motherfucking son. You pointed at your fucking self. I ain't accused this woman doing that to her son. I'm not. I don't know anything like that. But bitch, why are you on the fucking bed? You set the scene up. You were a part of the shit. Trying to intimidate. So you can buy your records and shine your shoes, bitch. Trying to intimidate someone who's minding their fuck business. And then you wonder why men hate women. That ain't the only reason. Well, let me be careful how I word this. I'll just say this. It has offered me some possible explanation of a young man I once knew, who has some serious embedded anger issues. To the point that one time, this motherfucker was supposed to go on a date with some girl, right? The guy knew. And I don't know what the girl did. She canceled him, didn't show up or something. This motherfucker took her picture, burned part of it, and put a nail or thumbtack in her face in the picture and hung it up on the fucking wall. Well, that's a bit extreme, don't you think? Don't you think that's a bit extreme? To react like that because the bitch wasn't going to go out with you? You just think about these things and you hear these things and you look back, oh, that's why that motherfucker acted like that. Possibly. Coming from a family where they're an incestuous. But no, you don't want to work on that. You don't want to stop that. Even though it probably happened to your motherfucking ass. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is go to church and pretend like you're the sweetest thing walking and like you love the Lord and love everybody. And you got the great thriving career and you can help all these peoples. instead of dealing with the sickness in your bloodline. Okay, you can't stop cutting in them, but you can stop your motherfucking self, bitch. I mean, I used to hear one man all the time talking about in church. His daughter wasn't married. He kept saying, I want my daughter to have a husband. I want my daughter to have a husband. That's understandable. You just punctify the man. Take all his manhood up, just strip it up out of him before he even have a chance to be one. I ain't talking about his sexuality. But sometimes they don't know. Because they've been messed with and played with by some grown-ass woman. All the fake shit. These queens and goddesses. We loves the Lord. Attack that bitch over there. And he's sitting up there, mind fucked up. You done fucked it up when he was 5. I remember I heard a girl, had just graduated from college, and I was, I went to nail school. I went twice. The first time I didn't go take the state test. But anyway, I know I don't do it because it's, I just didn't have a heart and hustle for it, you know. But anyway, we were all standing around talking after class, and this girl brought her son. And her son couldn't have been more than 2. So this other girl picks him up, and trigger warning. And everybody's cooing a little, oh, he's so cute. And this whole sick bitch gonna say, let me take you to the back so I can suck your little. And they laughed. And I looked at her mother like, bitch, that's not cute. That bitch meant what the fuck she said. And still, that's humor. And you wonder, well, I can't find no man. It ain't in the how the muscles and all of that shit. And his mind fucked up. That's a hard thing for a person, one way or the other, whether you do that energetically to someone, to your child, or whatever. That's a hard thing for a person to have to contend with and deal with in their life. And then they're walking around covering it up with a mask on, trying to act like it didn't happen. It may plague them daily in shame in their own fucking skin because of your motherfucking ass. And I was thinking about that today, and I was thinking about how I didn't watch that movie Precious. I don't give a fuck. I remember when Essence, I used to read Essence all the time, and Monique was on the cover and she was talking about that movie. And I was like, what? It was before the movie came out, okay? And I was like, oh, you know. But the part that got me was when they were talking about how the mother molested this girl. And I was like, I don't want to see no shit like that. So I remember when the movie came out, and I was like, this is that movie she was talking about. One day, I don't give a fuck what you think. Well, one day I said, okay, I'm going to go see this movie. Everybody was talking about I'm going to go see this movie. I bought the ticket about an hour early. So I went, you know, it was a lot of shops and stuff in the area. I went, you know, hanging around. I go to the theater. I go inside. I'm sitting there before it started. Before even the preview started. I said, fuck it. I got up. I went to the booth. I told the guy, I said, I can't watch this movie. Give me my money back. The young guy too, teenager. He said, Precious. I said, yeah. He said, I don't blame you. I can't watch that shit neither. I'm not gonna have that shit imprinted in my mind. People, would that really happen? Yeah, I know. I've been knowing that before the movie came out. I don't want to see the shit. But I thought about the one scene. I just remember seeing a piece of it where I guess, I don't know, maybe the social worker, whoever was talking to Monique's character, and did she say something like, what about me? Maybe things like that happen to her too. Okay, then when do you stop doing it? It's so interesting to me. Like, all this shit is out here, all exposed here on the internet and everything. What these secret groups do, blah blah blah. Ain't no secret no more, is it? I was saying all this shit in the 80s and 90s and shit. Okay, it was different. Life seemed more fun and people seemed more together. Blah blah blah, and was doing all this crazy ass shit in the background to your motherfucking ass. For you to grow up and hate yourself and be full of shame in your own fucking skin. Now, you have been a victim of that. Damn sure energetically when these people projected this shit off on you. I just want to say, in the best way that I can, you're 5, you're 6, you're a child, you're babies, basically, and you are having these. You remember having those thoughts and those issues and like, what is this? Where does it come from? What is, as you're growing older, why am I thinking like this? That because whoever that was in your mind, they projected that shit off on you. They did it to you. Period. Some mentally ill human being, a sick person. I don't give a fuck if it was your mother, your brother, your whatever, aunt, grandma. They did it to you. Do the dreamscape. And it's the dream infiltration book. They're doing, you are a rapist. You call it what it is. I told someone about this crazy bitch that I went off on a number of months back from that church who likes to dream infiltrate, who I feel like now is a victim of that. Whatever y'all had going on at that motherfucking church. And then, maybe she like you or something like that. Because why she trying to dumb dream infiltrate, come look at you, see you. Okay, you're right. But now after I saw that other dream, I'm like, well, what did y'all do? Like I said, I saw her. The dream, it was like they had the side of her head. It was like open, like they was gonna do some kind of service, like they did shit to y'all. And their little group, their little coven, whatever it was, to siphon off of you. To keep you from yourself, your life, your truth. The path that you were meant and destined to walk in. So they could have it. And still didn't, from the looks of things, still didn't do shit with it, for real. That you couldn't have, it wasn't nothing extra. You could have did that. Okay, I don't know all the specifics of your lives, but couldn't you have done that without doing all that other crazy shit to the children? Challenge what I'm saying. You won't. You get on your chat messages and shit. Stay your mouth ass away from me. And your sick, perverted dream infiltration away from me. If you're still living by the time this video is over, bitch, go. You still alive? I don't give a fuck. How old am I? 50? You in your 70s or 80s? Go get help. And quit pretending. And Father, you need to wake the fuck up. If you're still alive and kicking. Wake the fuck up. And deal with it. All your guilt and all your shame for walking away from a home that your motherfucking ass should have stayed in. I don't give a fuck if you don't like the language or not. See, this that shit when they be talking about when you get old, the shit catch up with your motherfucking ass. And bitch Rashiata, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, and Bree knew. I told her about the shit she was doing. That's who she came and joined here with. Years of you with your nasty dream and all that sexual energy and shit, you fucking bitch. Go get the help you fucking need. And quit trying to pretend like you all right. That's some rape shit. And who else did you do it to? It's okay for you to be a perpetrator. And not take accountability. And it's all right. It was just a dream. I just wanted a dream. But it ain't right when you a victim. Now I keep hearing something about somebody trying to make some video or some AI video, fake video. I already talked about that. Try it, motherfucker. And like I said before, how the fuck did you get it? That would be the question. Now look, y'all, look how nasty she is. Told y'all. How'd you get the motherfucker? That would be the question intelligent people would ask. Intelligent people. There are intelligent people. I know you probably don't come across, I ain't talking about Bree. I know you probably don't come across a motherfucker. You trying to, but everybody not dumb and fooled by your smile. Go get help, nigga. So you don't have to live in the guilt and shame that you're living in. Disgusted by your person because of your trauma. All right. I just want to say that. I don't know if I'll make this private or not, because motherfuckers who are gone, they're gone. Their mind is gone. From all the dirt they've done and all the witchcraft that they've done. And they can't see straight. They can't think straight. We'll try to make something be something that it's not. And report that you do. Get her off of there. That's my job. Anyway, I did one video for the memberships. I did another video the other night called Self-Mastery, which I made private for the memberships. All right. You all have favor. Peace.